The one Muslim woman versus 20 Christian women debate, where it starts with first quoted, is absolute oneness more in line with God's nature than the Trinity?
My first prompt is absolute oneness is more in line with God's nature than the Trinity.
And the moment I heard that question, I felt something, because this is not just a debate question. This is not just Christian versus Muslim. This is about the most important question in life. Who is God? And sometimes evil does not make people deny God. Sometimes evil does something more dangerous. It makes God confusing. It makes people say God with their mouth, but their heart no longer knows who God truly is. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. I was watching this debate. One Muslim sister, Korra, and she started with a very deep point. She said that absolute oneness is more in line with God's nature than the Trinity. And at first I was listening like everyone else, trying to understand the argument, trying to follow the words, trying to see who answered what. But then my heart got quiet because I realized something. This is not only about who wins a debate. This is not only about who speaks better. This is not only about who knows more philosophy. This is about the soul. This is about worship. This is about the way a human being understands the Creator. Because if a person becomes confused about God, then everything else becomes confused. Worship becomes confused. Purpose becomes confused. Life becomes confused. Death becomes confused, even the heart becomes lost. And I want to say this from the beginning. I'm not coming from a place of superiority. I'm not coming like I'm better than Christians. I'm not coming like Muslims are clean and everybody else is dirty. No, I am against the darkness inside myself first. Because if Allah did not guide me, I could have been confused too. I could have followed what people told me. I could have repeated big words without understanding them. I could have thought I was close to God while being far from the truth. So I speak as someone who needs Allah's mercy too. And listen, this topic is sensitive. People love their religion. People love their parents. People love their childhood. People respect what they were taught. Some people are sincere. Some people really want God. Some people are not trying to fight Allah. They are just repeating what they inherited. So I'm not here to insult anyone. I'm not here to mock anyone. I'm not here to make people feel stupid. I'm not here to say, look at them. No, I'm here to say, look at us. Look at what confusion can do to the heart. Look at how big words can cover a simple truth. Look at how people can talk about God for hours, but still miss the clearest thing. Allah is one, and I'm going to speak with mercy and with truth, without anger. In the debate, the question was about absolute oneness. And in simple words, it means this: God is one, not three, not divided, not parts, not a family, not a group, not one God shared between different persons. One, clear, perfect, complete. And this is the heart of Islam. Allah tells us in the Quran, say, He is Allah, one. Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verse 1. That verse is short, but it carries so much weight because Allah did not introduce Himself with confusion. Allah did not say, try to solve me. Allah did not say, 1 is 3 and 3 is 1. Allah did not say, you cannot understand who to worship. Allah said, He is Allah, one, clear, direct, pure. And sometimes the truth is not hidden because it is weak. Sometimes the truth is hidden because people build too many words around it. They call it mystery. They call it philosophy. They call it deep theology. They call it tradition. And slowly the heart becomes tired. The normal person says, I don't understand anymore. And that is dangerous. Because when the heart becomes tired of confusion, sometimes it stops searching. And that is exactly where evil wants people. Not always atheist, not always openly rejecting God, just confused, just tired, just numb, just saying, maybe nobody knows. Maybe it's all the same. Maybe it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Who God is matters. Who you worship matters. What you believe about Allah matters. Because this life is not random. This life is a test. And the first test is Tawheed. Do you recognize your Creator as one? Or do you let creation confuse you about the Creator?
But the distinction is that with the Trinity, we have a God that has always been relational because he's triune in his nature.
Now, in the debate, one of the arguments against pure oneness was something like this. If God is only one, then how can he be loving before creation? How can he be merciful before there is someone to receive mercy? How can he be relational if he is absolutely one? And I understand why people ask that. Because we are human. We think from human experience. For us, if someone shows mercy, there is usually someone receiving mercy. If someone shows love, there is usually someone in front of them. If someone gives, there is someone taking. If someone forgives, there is someone who did wrong. So people take human experience and they try to place it on Allah. But Allah is not like us. Allah is not limited like us. Allah is not trapped inside human categories. Allah does not need creation to become complete. Allah does not need someone beside him to become loving. Allah does not need another person inside himself to become merciful. Allah does not need relationship to become perfect. Allah is already perfect. Allah can have perfect mercy before creating anyone to receive that mercy. Allah can have perfect power before creating anything to show that power. Allah can have perfect knowledge before creating anything we know. Allah can be the provider before creating those who need provision. Allah can be the forgiver before creating those who need forgiveness. Because Allah's names and attributes are not waiting for us. We are waiting for Him. We need Allah. Allah does not need us. And this is where the heart must wake up. Because if someone says God needs another person to be loving, or God needs a relationship inside himself to be complete, then without realizing, they are making God dependent. I want to repeat this once again, because if someone says God needs another person to be loving, or God needs a relationship inside himself to be complete, then without realizing, they are making God dependent. But Allah is not dependent. Allah tells us in Surah Al-Ikhlas, Allah the Eternal Refuge, Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verse 2, meaning everything depends on Allah, but Allah depends on nothing. Everything needs Allah, but Allah needs nothing. The angels need Allah, the prophets need Allah, the heavens need Allah, the earth needs Allah. You need Allah. I need Allah. But Allah does not need any of us. And this is not cold. This is not empty. This is majesty. This is greatness. This is the perfection of the Lord. Because Allah is not like a lonely human being waiting for someone to love him. Allah is not like us. Allah is not sitting there incomplete until creation exists. No, Allah was perfect before creation. Allah is perfect now. Allah will remain perfect after all of us are gone. And that should humble the heart, because the dunya teaches us to start with ourselves. My mind, my feeling, my truth, my opinion, my comfort, my way. But Islam brings the soul back and says, no, start with Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is one. Allah is as-samad. Allah does not give birth. Allah was not born. And there is nothing comparable to Him. That is clarity. That is safety. That is Tawheed. And this is why I say God is not confusing. People may become confused. Debates may become confusing. Words may become confusing. But Allah did not leave His truth unclear. Allah gave us Surah Al-Ikhlas. A child can memorize it. A scholar can spend his life reflecting on it. And both of them are standing in front of the same truth. Allah is one. Now, in the debate, and another question quoted.
Okay, perfect. So do you believe that the persons of the Trinity are merciful to one another? Because mercy in this instance would imply...
If mercy needs relationship, then are the persons of the Trinity merciful to each other? Because mercy usually means someone is in need, someone is weak, someone did wrong, or someone needs compassion. So if the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are perfect, why would mercy be needed between them? And that question matters, because sometimes people use a word like mercy or love to prove something, but when you slow it down, the argument begins to shake. And I'm not saying this to make fun of them. I'm saying this because the truth deserves to be clear. If someone says Allah cannot be merciful unless He has someone to be merciful to, then they are making mercy dependent on creation. But Allah's mercy is not created by us. Allah's mercy is from Him. Allah is Ar-Rahman. Allah is Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, the especially merciful. And every mercy we see in this world is only because Allah allowed it. The mercy of a mother, the mercy of a father, the mercy of a person forgiving another person, the mercy in the heart, all of it comes from Allah. So how can creation be the source of Allah's mercy? No, Allah is the source. We are the ones who receive. We are the ones who are poor. We are the ones who are weak. We are the ones who need forgiveness. Allah does not become merciful because of us. We survive because He is merciful. And this is where I want to pause, because this is not just a Christian topic, this is for Muslims too. Sometimes we say Allah is one with our tongue, but our heart is divided. We say Allah is one, but we fear people more than Allah. We say Allah is one, but we trust money more than Allah. We say Allah is one, but we chase the dunya like it owns us. We say Allah is one, but our desire tells us what to do. So before we use Tawheed in a debate, we need to use Tawheed as a mirror. Look at your own heart. Look at my own heart. If Allah is one, why is my heart scattered? If Allah is one, why do I need everyone's approval? If Allah is one, why do I follow every trend? If Allah is one, why do I forget Him so easily? This is why I'm afraid for myself first, because knowledge without humility can become another trap. Debates without softness can become ego. Truth without mercy can become harshness. And mercy without truth can become weakness. So we need both truth and mercy, clarity and humility, Tawheed and a soft heart. Now here is where evil comes in. Evil does not always come and say, leave God. Sometimes evil says, make God complicated. Add something. Mix truth with falsehood. Use emotional words. Use beautiful words. Say it is love. Say it is mystery. Say it is tradition. Until the simple truth becomes buried and the person is no longer asking, what did Allah reveal? Now they are asking, what did my people say?
John 17 tells us that Jesus existed. He's praying to the Father.
What did my family say? What did my church say? What did my culture say? What makes me comfortable? And this is dangerous because truth is not measured by comfort. Truth is not measured by how many people believe it. Truth is not measured by what our parents taught us. Truth is from Allah, and I know that is hard because nobody wants to feel like they may have been wrong. Nobody wants to question what they grew up with. Nobody wants to look at their family and think, what if we inherited confusion? That is painful. But the day of judgment is more real than our comfort. The grave is more real than people's opinions. Standing before Allah is more real than winning a debate. And one day, every soul will stand alone. Not with the crowd, not with the family, not with the tradition, not with the debate team, not with the YouTube comments, alone. And the question will not be, did you sound smart? The question will be, did you submit to the truth when it came to you? This is why Tawheed is not a small topic. Tawheed is not just Muslims believe in one God. No. Tawheed is the foundation of life. One creator, one Lord, one direction, one worship, one return. When Tawheed is clear, the heart has direction. When Tawheed is lost, the heart becomes scattered. That is why Shaitan hates Tawheed. Because Tawheed frees the human being. Tawheed says, you are not a slave to people. You are not a slave to money. You are not a slave to desire. You are not a slave to trends. You are not a slave to society. You are a servant of Allah, and that is the highest honor. But when evil confuses people about God, it slowly confuses them about themselves. They forget where they came from. They forget why they are here. They forget where they are going. They forget their soul. They forget death. They forget accountability. They forget Allah. And this is exactly what I mean when I say the world is becoming blind. Not because people have no information. People have too much information, but less guidance, too many words, less clarity, too many arguments, less submission, too much noise, less remembrance of Allah. And sometimes even religion becomes noise if the heart is not sincere. So ask yourself this simple question. Does this belief make God clear, or does it make God confusing? Does it protect Allah's perfection, or does it make God dependent?
What's your stance on the Bible? What's your stance on the Bible? Is it partially corrupt?
Does it lead me to worship one creator, or does it divide my heart? Does it bring humility, or does it feed my ego? Because Allah is not in need of our complicated explanations. Allah revealed what we need to know, and Allah tells us He does not give birth, nor was He born. Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verse 3. And then Allah says, and there is nothing comparable to Him. Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verse 4. That is enough for the sincere heart. Allah does not give birth. Allah was not born. Allah is not a man. Allah is not a son. Allah is not part of a family. Allah is not divided into persons. Allah is not like creation. Allah is one. And the moment the heart accepts that, it becomes free. Not because life becomes easy, but because direction becomes clear. You know who to worship. You know who to call upon. You know who forgives. You know who provides. You know who sees you when nobody sees you. You know who hears you when nobody understands you. You know who you will return to. And this is why I feel sad when people make Allah confusing. Because the soul is already tired. People are already broken. People are already lost in this dunya. People are already drowning in desires, stress, money, fear, sadness, and sins. And then on top of that, they are told that God is confusing too? No, Allah is not confusion. Allah is the one who brings the heart out of confusion. Allah is the one who guides. Allah is the one who gives light. Allah is the one who opens the chest. Allah is the one who brings the dead heart back to life. So if you are watching this and you feel confused, I want to say this gently. Do not run away from Allah because people made religion complicated. Come back to Allah. Ask Allah sincerely. Say, Ya Allah, show me the truth as truth and help me follow it. Ya Allah, show me falsehood as falsehood and help me stay away from it. Ya Allah, do not leave me to myself because guidance is a gift. Nobody owns guidance. Nobody wakes up Muslim because they are better. Allah guided them. And if Allah leaves a person to themselves, they can drown in their own mind. That is why we ask Allah every day, guide us to the straight path. Every prayer, every day, again and again, because the heart can turn, the world can distract, the whispers can enter, the arguments can sound beautiful, but the straight path is still the straight path. And now listen carefully, because this is the healing part. If someone is watching this and they feel far from Allah, or they believed something because they didn't know, or they feel confused, or they feel scared, or they feel like, what if I was wrong? Don't let shaitan push you into despair. Don't speak for Allah. Don't close the door that Allah left open. Allah tells us in the Quran, O my servants who have wronged themselves, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, He is the most forgiving, the most merciful. Surah Az-Zumar, chapter 39, verse 53. That verse is not a small verse. That verse is a door back home. So the message is not, you are finished. The message is, come back. Come back to Allah. Come back to Tawheed. Come back to clarity. Come back before the heart becomes hard. Because confusion can become normal. A person can live in darkness for so long that they start calling it light. Allah warns us in the Quran that hearts can become hardened like stones or even harder. And that is why I'm afraid. I'm afraid for myself first. Because a hard heart does not always look evil. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it talks about God. Sometimes it debates. Sometimes it sounds smart. But inside it no longer feels truth. So I make this dua. Ya Allah, keep my heart soft. Ya Allah, protect me from confusion. Ya Allah, protect me from arrogance. Ya Allah, don't let me justify what displeases you. Ya Allah, let me live upon Tawheed and die upon Tawheed. At the end of the day, I can't force anybody. You can't force people. You can't control hearts. Only Allah guides hearts. But I hope this message reaches one person who still has light inside them. One person who is tired of big words hiding simple truth. One person who wants to know God sincerely. One person who says, I don't want confusion anymore. I want Allah. If you feel far from Allah, come back. If you feel confused, come back. If you feel guilty, come back. If you feel proud, humble yourself and come back. Because one day, all debates will end. All comments will disappear. All arguments and opinions will be gone, and every soul will stand before Allah alone. No crowd, no debate stage, no applause, no excuses, just you, your deeds, and your Lord. So before that day comes, return. God is not confusing. Allah is one. Allah knows best. Any mistake is mine. Guidance comes from Allah.